Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Taylor Wilde. Welcome back to Wilde On Season 5, the podcast where you get the insider's view of the weird, wild world of wrestling and witchcraft. On Wednesdays, today's guest is a whole lot of spiritual woman, and she is currently being featured on NWA. And speaking of NWA, Billy Corgan, I want you to be a guest on the Wilde On podcast and YouTube channel. Please have your people reach out to my people. Back to today's guest. Pro wrestling was a staple in her family growing up, and now she is a staple in professional wrestling. She has been manifesting and taking names while leaving her mark on every major wrestling promotion in North America. She is a former WWE NXT superstar and a former Impact Knockout. A lover of Beyonce and the power of spoken word, meditation, and crystals. Ladies and gentlemen, my girl, MJ Jenkins. I know you from your time in NXT. You had a little kind of run with Impact, but girl, you've been busy. Like, you hit the ground running.
Yeah.
How did this all start for you?
Oh man, I can say it really started. Of course, everyone, like, I did the wrestling school thing at World of Unpredictable Wrestling with WWF Hall of Famer Johnny Rods in Brooklyn. That's like I really got in my start, and it was after I was done with business communications and information technology. And I was like, I really want to do wrestling. And I remember I wrote it down like as my number one goal. And the professor was like, everybody, tell us what you want to do with your skills. And I was like, wrestling? And she was like,
totally applicable.
Right. And she was just like, you wrote this at the top of your list. And I was like, yeah. So really, I started from like that point. I remember it was 2010 in the very beginning. But once I would say I did like at least a year or two of training.
Okay.
From there, I remember this was when like Evolve had first like started kicking off, and they were doing a lot of shows. I went to one of their seminars. I got put on the show, and from there I was like, oh, I got this. And from there I was just like, phew. And and that's when more and more opportunities happened. And then I remember I got a call from Gail, and she was just like, hey, I've been trying to reach you. We've been playing phone tag, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. And I'm just like, you, ma'am, are not bothering me. Like, I want you to. Can you come to? Can I? Oh, say nothing but a word. Like,
that's amazing.
It's so good. Yes. It's been so fun.
That's not usually how it goes. You know what I mean? Like, I feel very akin to your story. I gave myself 2 years to train, and then it was like you said, pew, I was off to the races, and kind of life didn't stop until I made it stop. But what was like your gateway drug into wrestling? Because for me, it was Trish Stratus, kind of in that end of mid attitude era. But I had a boyfriend when I was like 14, 15 years old who loved wrestling. I was like, I don't give a shit, but you're cute, so I will sit here and watch wrestling with you. And that's really when I was like, this is cool. What was it for you? What was your gateway drug into pro wrestling?
My family is really, really huge, and we would have like a house full of like everybody. We were all in one house, and we would just watch wrestling all the freaking time.
Okay, that's not stereotypical. That's beautiful. No. I love that.
Because I'm just like, we really watched it all the time. I still did the girly stuff, Barbie dolls and all this.
Sure.
I did that. But then me and my brother would be doing like swanton bombs off the pop onto mattresses, and we'd be play fighting. I would power bomb him, and it was so, you know what it was for me? I just saw these like larger than life characters.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing like Jacqueline, and she was just like this big, strong, tough woman with the like huge boobs. Huge boobs and the thick legs, and I was like, yeah.
Yes, agreed.
That's gonna be me. It was like a family bonding thing too. We would have video games, we would make our own characters, and I was like, and even as I got older, like through school and high school and college, that was still there. And it was just like, well, what are you waiting for? Like you, of course, you went to school and you did that. And of course, I did like going to school too.
Right.
However, I knew from little, I was like, it's like, what do you want to be? Girl, oh, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be this. I want to be that. I was like, this is who I want to be.
That is amazing.
It's so awesome when you really say, this is what I want to do, and then you do it. And
Yes.
you love and you enjoy and it's fun. And so, yeah, man.
But that's a testament too to, really pure, genuine manifestation. You were
Yeah.
like, this is what I'm going to do. The end.
Yeah.
And you made it
Yeah.
happen. So
Yeah.
the journey you've been on since this was a
Woo!
family affair, how does your family feel about the ride?
They was just like, are you crazy? and then other people was like, we knew you were gonna do this because you was always a rough child. And I was like, excuse me. Like, I still like my purses. I still love getting my nails done and all this stuff.
Sure.
My mom, she is just like, oh, can't watch. Oh no, why is this? And once they saw that I just kept going at it and kept going at it, they were very proud.
That's
Very
great.
proud. And they were the first people, my family, the first one who bought my merchandise and my T-shirts and showing it off.
Aw.
My mom, in her mind, she's just like, as long as you're making money, as long as you're fine.
Truth.
She's like, so you do have another job? I'm like, Mom, no, this is it. She's like, oh, okay. she doesn't get it. She
Fair.
doesn't get that it's like a career
Yeah.
path. She doesn't, if in her mind, she's just like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I saw you, and then so and so and so and so saw you on
Oh.
ESP. I'm like, me ESPN. She's like, oh yeah, and I'm like, oh,
Let's be real. You're just like checking off all the boxes, though. Like you started with Impact, and then you had your time with WWE, NXT, and we're seeing you on NWA. We're seeing you on AEW. You've run the gauntlet. Where, like, for me, I can say I did kind of a similar thing, but it was the other way around. I started with WWE, then TNA, took 10 years off, then, back to Impact, and each part of the puzzle for me was a huge part of my journey. Do you feel that way as a wrestler, as a human being, that each part has been a separate chapter that needed to happen?
yes, and I feel like it really does something like shapes and molds you, and you find out so much more about yourself when it always feels like you're still hitting the ground running and
Yeah.
doing the work nonstop. And it's literally marked a new branch for myself, and it's more of challenging myself, like, okay, like, what do I do now? And also it makes me reshape. It's made me reshape my goals and
Okay.
reshape my focus and my purpose. And also it's led me to develop the inner woman within me. And I've been doing a lot of spirituality lately. And I've been
Yay!
collecting crystals. And my homegirl Faye Jackson, we went to a crystal shop, and I've just really been like, I also learned that my self-worth and who I am is more important outside of who MJ Jenkins is.
Oh, girl.
I no longer put a label on my productivity and about where I was at and who I worked with. I still have some top people I want to work with, but still, it's made me grow up and develop and love myself deeper and more, because in everything that I've done in each area that I've, company that I've gone into, it's always made me be better inward.
Yeah.
I'm just really grateful that everything has happened the way that it's happened.
Good for you, girl, because not everyone does the internal work. Going from company to company, each company treats you very differently. You could be broken from company to company, but instead, you've left with your head held high and you're looking inward and you're healing. And like you said, there's no being in more touch with your feminine than doing that spiritual work.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to not be in your masculine in this business because it's so cutthroat.
Yeah.
That we're always like the visible minority, whether, we're 20 to 1, 50 to 1, doesn't matter. But I found myself being, and I would love to know if you relate the same. I've been in my masculine my whole career until now. I'm 37. I had a baby, a few divorces, and now I'm like, fuck it. I am woman. Hear me roar. and
Yes,
I feel more powerful now being in my feminine than I ever felt being in my masculine. Is that how you feel as well?
yes, absolutely. I always feel like because when you're in your feminine too, you receive a lot more, right? And
True.
for me, I had to learn like I will always be like, no, I got this on my own. I'm going to do this. I'm rough. I'm hard, and it's either being something that I'm necessarily not, or feeling like I had to be a certain way because I am in a business that was
Yep.
predominantly male dominated. Woman, like the sisterhood in the business,
Oh yeah.
literally is the best thing. Oh, there's a song I was listening to called this woman. She says, "I am woman. I am fearless. I am sexy. I'm divine. I'm,"
Yes.
and I was just like, ooh. And I listened to that before my matches. I listened to that on the road. And there's another song called "I Believe in Me." And the more I just accepted feeling like being a woman, I don't need to be more than a woman. And that's why
Yep.
I started when I was at NXT. I was calling myself a whole lot of woman, even though I took it from my inspiration, Beyonce. I really love her. I
We
took it
love
from when
B.
she was Foster Cleopatra. She's like, I'm Foster Cleopatra, I'm a whole lot of woman. I was like, no,
Yes.
I'm MJ Jenkins, I'm a whole lot of woman. I took that because it's nothing better than being a woman and being comfortable in being a woman and knowing that being a woman is enough. And yeah, so yeah,
Period.
yeah, yes, being a woman is enough. Period.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. We got to stop explaining ourselves,
being
stop saying sorry for being vulnerable, emotional.
yes,
Like all of those are superpowers. The only reason we've ever had to mute those is because it makes not women uncomfortable.
bingo. Yeah, watch. I'd be like, you saw what I'm saying because I'm right.
Exactly. And so, when did spirituality come into your life when it came to your interpersonal work?
It came when COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Faye Jackson, she came into town. We went to a crystal shop maybe like right before COVID happened, and
Yeah.
I just knew like just within my mind certain things I was letting how you say the negative build up too much,
Sure.
and so
Yep.
I was allowing things to like repeat in my life. I wasn't trusting enough to allow people who really wanted to help me, people who really cared about me. I didn't trust anything to let me in, to let
Mm-hmm.
them in. It's like, okay, I went from having a rigorous schedule to having everything being set, being done for me to where it's now how do I be without being drilled?
Right.
Once that happened, I really had to sit with myself. Once I was, how you say, free,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, okay, well, now what do you do with this new freedom? Right. And then
Yeah.
since I did have personal stuff with family that was a casualty of COVID, I also had to say,
Mm.
like, okay, now I'm going through everything at once. So
Yeah.
it's like either I even said to myself, am I going to allow this to break me?
Yep.
Or am I going to allow take everything and build myself? Because I also said to myself, I want to be someone that when something happens, I can fail forward. I
Yeah.
can I want to be that person that doesn't sit in and be a woe is me. And I even said to my friend, oh, I'm tired of being the woe is me, and I can feel it, but I don't want that to be my driving force.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't want it to be that something tragic or bad has to happen to me for me to feel like I can improve. I just want to improve daily. I want to be okay and be happy with myself daily. So
Yeah.
that was really the tipping point for me.
That's beautiful. I want to fail forward. If I take anything from this interview, like this is gold. But I mean, that is such a powerful statement. And it's something to truly think about because life is about failing,
Right.
life is about challenges. It's how you recoup from those failures. Are you going to grow or are you going to be, oh, woe is me?
Right. Bingo. Yes. Yes.
Now, I find that so many people, for a multitude of reasons, went down their own spiritual journey during COVID. They went through what I call the dark soul of the night, where you literally hit rock bottom and you've got nowhere to go But, when you break, that's when the light gets in. And that's when you kind of have a choice. Where are you going to go with this? So for everyone, mainly wrestlers that have gone through this dark night of the soul, that did their spiritual work during COVID, when they got back into professional wrestling, when the bans lifted and we were able to, they came back into wrestling completely different people. Would you say that your spiritual journey has affected MJ Jenkins as a wrestler?
Yes, I can say it definitely has. It's made me more of like, oh, I got this. It's made me more trusting in myself more than anything, and it's
Mm-hmm.
made me see I deserve to have good things, and I've received what the universe is giving me, and
Mm-hmm.
expecting and unexpected opportunities are coming my way. So
Mm-hmm.
when everything would happen, and then when someone would be like, "Hey, we want you to come down train with us," or "Hey, we want you to come here," I'd be like, "I knew it," because I
Yes.
was already, accepting it, and I was already open to it. So since I've already opened myself up to all the possibilities and being grateful for it, it's made me be more than when something wouldn't happen exactly, because I would always be a person who wanted things to happen exactly the way I saw it in my mind. And when it didn't, I would be like, yeah. But now I'm
Yep.
just like, redirection is protection. And just because something wasn't right for you then doesn't mean it won't be right for you later, and doesn't mean something else is coming. So it's definitely made me more, how to say, it's made me more appreciative, and it's made me more
Mm-hmm.
open, and it's made me more relaxed. And it's nothing better than being like relaxed and at a calm.
Sure. Sure.
I feel like we professional wrestlers, we have to have a somewhat of a calmness coming over us, because it's not like we are 100% in control of everything. Even if
Mm-hmm.
you are all that in the bag of chips, there's always something that's like, you know. So yeah.
No, and that's so hard to do, and something I have done but is always a practice, because we're all a bit type A, because we couldn't get to the points in our career we could if we didn't have organization, and I want to get to this point by this age. But the whole let go, let flow, whatever is meant for you is meant for you. Like you said, not right now. Redirection is protection. That's like perfect, because the universe knows when something is right for you and when it benefits you.
Right.
And, I can only relate it to relationships. Like when a relationship burns in a fiery
Let it burn,
crash,
baby. Let it burn. Yes.
the universe was already probably trying to send you signals, and your stubborn ass was holding on tight. But
Yeah. I have
the
that. You talking like, oh, but they could be good. No, we said let it go. I'm like, no. But I love him.
but he's cute. Story of my motherfucking life.
Boy. Oh.
Now I'm just being single, and it's the best. It's part of my spiritual journey. It's part of letting go, letting flow. And I have a terrible habit of everybody I've ever been in a relationship with, it gets serious real quick, and I lose myself, or I have done in the past. And now I just can't be bothered unless I can attract someone who is my equal
Mm.
and just wants to be a wonderful partner in this beautiful life I've built. Then don't disturb my peace.
Bingo. Oh, that is something too. It's like nothing is ever more. Seriously, I feel like me and you are on the same wavelengths, because I like, you
Yes.
could be fine and you could be packing,
I
you
don't
could be
care
all
now.
that, but you disturb my peace now. It's just like, listen, I can't do it anymore, and I don't want to do it anymore. And my thing is, right,
Yeah.
we all have something to where we have like I feel like we all have a level of trauma, right? But I know
Yeah.
that my partner or whoever I'm going to be with isn't, and this is even in friendships. I know that no one is responsible for how I'm triggered, but if we are close
Mm-hmm.
and you're in my inner circle, you will know
Mm-hmm.
some depth to me. But it's now, you still should respect me to the extent that you're not purposely poking the bear. So if you are someone that's poking the
Yes.
bear, no matter how much you mean to me, or no matter what I've let you in on, you gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
My peace is
Yep.
above all else, because really, you're like, that's why it starts with your mind, and that's why, like, with my meditations, that starts first, and it's so much more important, because you realize, like, I know you've realized, our mind frame is what guides everything else. And so
Mm-hmm.
the people who we surround ourselves with, especially in relationships, you said like you lose yourself. Oh, I feel like I'm the poster for that because I truly would just
Yeah.
be like, because once I feel like I'm in love or I feel like I have somebody that understands me, especially
Mm.
in this business, I'm just like, me and them, we're gonna ride or die. We gonna be on the same page. I got my partner, they understand me because dating someone, I tried to date like people who are in the business, and some of them are like,
Yep.
"Oh, you know," and not everyone can handle that. Not every guy is
No.
secure, and then some people they take it as, "Oh yeah, look, yeah, well look who I'm with," and I'm like, "Oh boy, no." And
Yeah.
and some people, it's just you just never know.
Well, it's just, I don't want anybody who hasn't done the work too,
Bingo.
because we are, okay, we are all just in this realm, just doing our
Right.
best. But all we are, the only thing that differentiates us is our triggers. We are our triggers. So if you're sitting around here and you haven't like read a book, go to therapy, if you've had bad relationships and a lot of patterns, you get to a point where you're like, well, I could keep saying like he was narcissistic or he was a drunk, but I'm the only person responsible for my happiness. I'm the person that's letting that guy, kind of guy, back in. So I haven't healed the relationship with myself because I'm attracting who I am. That's what I'm
Bingo.
radiating into the world. That's why I'm single for 2 years, because I haven't found my badass ride or die partner out there who can hang with this healed version of me yet.
Bingo. Bingo. Yes. And
Yeah. But if you're not single, you can't have that
right.
foresight.
Right. That is something true. I've been listening to this one to two speakers. I believe one is R.C. Blake's, and I can't remember the other guy's name. I've been listening to his speeches, and it's called a Queen Conscious Woman. And and he
Mm.
said 7 ways that Queen Conscious Woman protects their peace. And then another one was how to heal your heart, and it was just certain. One thing one guy said was, if you're not healed, you can't deal. And it says also never make friends with the angry man, meaning an angry person. You know,
Yeah.
if you're not healed, you can't park it here because, oh, toxic empathy. That was what he said. You can't be so
Mm.
understanding to somebody else to where now it's chipping away at yourself. And if that person, with everything that's out here, you see all the ways that we have that we can heal ourselves. Like you said, you can read a book, you go on your spiritual journey, or even the self awareness of recognizing, hey, this is a pattern within me. So if you can't do that on your
Yes.
own, I'm not about to be the one to help you because while I'm trying to
No.
help you, you're cutting on me, you're bleeding on me, and now I'm left damaged with myself and your trauma. No, no, honey.
Yeah. Girl, I gotta spill a little bit of tea here. The last guy I was like involved with, we'll call it, I literally told him this door is closed for therapy. There is no therapy. I was like, I'm sorry, boo. No.
I told him the last guy I was dealing with. I told him take your black ass to therapy, and he was like, I was like, you got so much trauma, and you're putting all your situations. You're trying to fight those battles through me, and I'm not even the person that hurt you. I was like, mm-mm.
But I'm so glad you could see it. Like maybe old you wouldn't have been even able to see
Right.
that and say like, I'm not your trauma. I didn't create this for you. And you don't want someone to heal in you. You want someone that lifts you up, that is your partner in crime. You like elevate each other. And fuck, if you don't go to therapy, grow the fuck up.
Right, but not everyone's on that
Seriously.
wavelength, so it is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. We won't
right.
judge. Okay, but I do want to touch back on, tell me about your meditation practice, because it sounds like this is like daily and I suck at meditation. So I want to hear what you
Okay,
do.
so usually I wake up in the morning. I like to go outside in the sun, but I just moved back to
Yeah.
New York City, so it's kind of cold out here. But I was in Florida like a few days ago. On my
Okay.
back porch, the sun rays would just hit me, and I
Mm-hmm.
have this one for self worth affirmations, and it would be it's a
Oh.
20-day one. So I would start a new one after 20 days. And I had an energy cleansing kit. It came with a clear quartz, and then also had amethyst and
Oh,
cat's eye. So I would use all three of them and charge them the night before, just in case, like, the crystals have lost their energy or power. I would sit in the sun and sit in an Indian style and just I would replay it, play the music in my ear or the whichever one I
yeah.
chose to listen to. I would hear it twice and then repeat it, and that would be for about 16 minutes in the morning. And then after that, I would just sit and say all the affirmations to myself. I also keep a journal. The
Okay.
journal is very much important too, because you can even after your affirmation, I like to check things off to make sure I stay on schedule with myself, and then
Mm-hmm.
I would journal what I want to happen through the day, and then even
Oh, there's that type A. Are you a Virgo?
no, I'm a Leo.
Okay, same shit. I'm a double Leo.
I'm I'm
Sorry.
I'm a Leo, a July Leo at that point.
Okay.
July, August,
Okay.
July. You're like, you're Cancer, cuz I'm like, listen, that's fine with me. Yes.
Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, so I do have the journal to where I also write out my feelings for the day, and I also
Okay.
write out what I want for the day, and then I also keep an end of day gratitude. So always go to bed with something that I'm thankful for. And even I started this recently, waking up being thankful for something. I didn't realize what I started doing. As soon as I would open my eyes, I would hurry up and say something quick and nice to myself, like I'm thankful for waking up today. Oh, like I would even appreciate the breeze on my skin or the smell of something, or my dog will run past me, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm grateful that I have you, buddy. And
Mm.
really, the end of day gratitude is what sets my mood for the morning. Because you ever went to bed upset about something and then you wake up still thinking about what you were upset about? I was told that even though we're asleep, our consciousness is still
Oh
alert.
yeah.
So I
Oh
would
yeah.
sometimes I would play like the energy healing music or hurts at night, or I would play the affirmations at night so I can hear throughout at night. But what's mostly stuck with me has been the end of day gratitude thing. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And you know what? I'm going to bring that into my practice because it's just, it takes a second to be like, I'm thankful to open my eyes today. I'm thankful for the air I breathe. Or, even if you want to be more into abundance or financial growth or whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just one little thing.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the ceiling that is attached to my house.
Yes. Need that for the
Yeah, and tell me that doesn't change your energy, and tell me that doesn't change your mood when you wake up to start your day. That's beautiful. I love your meditation practice. Thank you for sharing that with us.
you're very welcome.
Okay, let's wrap this shit up, girl, because you and I will do this for another hour.
Okay. Yeah, we will. We will.
Let's do my top 10 tailor-made questions. It's not a speed round.
Okay.
So, ready?
Okay.
Okay, what's your favorite crystal and why?
Ooh, I love the clear quartz. And I love the clear quartz
Mm.
because it helps me balance my mind and my energy. And one thing that I was waking up saying with when I first started my energy cleansing kit, I had the candle and the crystal and the spray. I would close my eyes and say, clear stone, shine bright, let my purpose be strong and bright, let my mind be focused and my soul satisfied. I have
Oh.
memorized down the back. So it's the clear quartz.
Beautiful. That's such a powerful stone that I feel is really overlooked because people want something colorful. Whereas, like, no, the absence of color is the most powerful thing because you make it what you want it to be and it amplifies other stones and crystals.
And that's why I would hold the clear quartz first, and then I would put the other two in my hands, and I would combine them and let that amplify
Mhm.
like the abundance of the amethyst and the
Mhm.
cat's eye. So yeah,
See, you're a powerful bitch. This is what happens with highly sensitive people. We attract these like sad therapy cases. Like, I don't have a witchy girlfriend, a spiritual girlfriend that doesn't have a long list of partners that need to do the work because we are healers. We are healers by trade. We are on this earth, and it's not like a chosen thing. Like, I didn't get into spirituality because I want to heal people. I like witchcraft.
right,
But you are who you are.
right, right.
Okay, so speaking about partners, what is your favorite zodiac sign in a partner? Like, what are you most attracted to? Because I know you have a type.
I would say Sagittarius.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Sagittarius are so positive.
Yeah, it would. I would say because this Sagittarius, I feel like I still have a soft spot for him. I would
Hmm.
say that through everything, there were a lot of times where I just knew I could always count on him. And
Okay.
then also seeing the way that he governs himself, I have a lot of respect for the way that he carries himself. Someone who treats themselves with so much love and respect, I admire that about him. And
Hmm.
the man that he is very inspiring, So I feel like that's why that was like maybe it's just him, but
Mm,
I feel
maybe.
like of all of my partners, he was a Sagittarius, and he is still really in tune to himself. Yeah.
He's got his hooks in you, eh?
Something like that. But I've let the hooks go,
Okay.
in that way.
Okay.
However, I know if I was to just be like, "Hey, I need you," he's here. And
Fair.
he's really always on a spiritual journey, and that's what I really like and respect about him. He's real into spirituality and healing himself and being better, and always tells me about different oils or ashwagandhas and different things, and
Oh,
I'm just like, okay,
have you tried ashwagandha?
not yet. Not yet. I haven't yet. I want to.
It is the
It
best.
is.
Honestly, so one thing I will say is it has to be cycled. So you don't want to take it for extended periods of time because it does act like a natural type of antidepressant, and you don't want to numb out. You don't want to not feel your feelings, but you want to manage your feelings. So I heard the most beneficial way to use it is if you're going through like a stressful time in your life, or you're just, it doesn't have to be like a catastrophic thing. Maybe you're going through a breakup, or you're going through a job change, or you just feel like shit because you live in New York and you got seasonal depression. Um, but you're
That's
not
real.
supposed to take it. No, for I'm in Toronto, so I'm like, where is the sun? Where is the sun? But yeah, I am not a doctor. I am not a naturopath. I am not Dr. TikTok, but I will say, do your research.
Okay.
Ashwagandha, 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Okay. That I'm gonna try that next because I feel like that's the path that I'm on right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one. Okay. What is your secret supernatural power?
I really can almost tell what someone is thinking before they even say it. Like I can, based on the conversation, I can read body language, and I instantly can tell like the one little switch when something's changed, and I could, before they even say it, I'll think and they'll say it, and I feel like I knew this was where this was going.
So we got an empathic psychic witch. We love
Yes. I don't
this.
I don't like it.
Yes.
I feel like that's a part of my survival mode that
Hmm.
I had to adapt, and then I'm just like, okay, well, how do I make it so
It's
that
a
I
trauma response.
yes,
It's a trauma
it is a trauma
response.
response, but now it's with me through everything, and I just yeah,
No, you flipped it. You
yeah,
flipped it. You turned it into a power. It's a good
yeah.
thing.
That's the good part, and yes.
Well, do you read, do you audiobook anything?
Read any audiobooks?
Are you do you read old fashioned books? Do you do audiobooks? What do you do? Like, what's your,
I have books. There's one book I'm reading called How Successful Women Think Differently. I
oh,
am reading that book, and it's actually a workbook too, in order that it makes you work on yourself as well. To
okay.
Yeah, so that is the book that I'm reading right now. And other than that, I've listened to different podcasts, like this guy named R.C. Blake. Yeah,
You
R.C.
mentioned,
Blake.
yeah.
So that I've just been doing that, and lo and behold,
Yep.
it's
You're a sponge. This is what comes, I think, on a lot of spiritual like they say it when you have like a spiritual awakening,
Mm-hmm.
you just can't get enough information in you, and then you kind of like taper off,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go back down to it. And the thing is, you've done this since COVID. These spiritual awakenings, they keep hitting you, and they hit hard, and you'll go through like bouts of what feel like depression and like exhaustion, but then you just get charged the fuck back up. So don't ever let that deter you.
Thank you.
Okay, do you believe in ghosts, and do you have a ghost story?
Ooh. Okay. I do believe in ghosts, and I have a few.
Mm.
So right now I'm in my parents' house, and my dad, he had passed away, and for a while, like I didn't have any
I'm
dreams with
sorry,
him
by the
for
way.
yeah, and I didn't have any dreams with him for a very long time. And my mother
Okay.
always said, yeah, he would just always come by and slap my foot, and he would
Oh.
go, I'm okay, Jenkins, I'm fine. And I was just like,
Oh,
why doesn't he, communicate with me? Like I've experienced a lot already, and
yeah.
lo and behold, like I would just feel something like looking at me, and I'm just like,
Oh, Dad.
what is that? And I run to my room, I slammed the door, and I fell asleep, and then like I had like my stuff that wasn't folded the right way, and then he's like pushed it off, and I was like, if that was you, do something else. And he wouldn't, of course, listen to me then. But then when I would go to the bathroom, he would push something else up. I'm like, all right, okay, stop. All right, if I'm freaking out,
Oh,
I know it's you now. I know, and and somebody was like, "That's not good. That's a bad sign. Ghosts don't fear." I'm like, "No, it's just
it's a
my
good
dad
sign.
telling me like I'm more. I feel like he was more in tune to my mom. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing was I had a nephew, and he passed when we were teenagers.
Oh,
But me and my nephew were like a roughly around the same age. But he passed when we were teenagers. But no one ever told me because they thought I would have taken it really hard. I'm like, you guys.
oh.
Well, now I'm taking it hard now that I'm finding out now.
Right.
When I went back to the house that we used to share in South Carolina, it was like a huge family house.
Yeah.
I just kept feeling down and bothered, and because everyone
Oh.
used to be there and he wasn't there, and I'm like, the first time I'm back at his house and he's not here, and
Mm.
I went to see him at his grave, and then the house, like we had a plot to where the big house was, to where then we had our grandmother's house, and
Mhm.
I just went to sleep. But I remember crying, like thinking of him crying, and I was upset. And then when I woke up, he was there right in my face, and he said, "Hi, Monique," and I was like, "Ah!" Like I jumped, and I was like, "Jay," that was his name that we all called him, and
Yeah.
that it really spooked the crap out of me because that was the first time before, like how I said, like my dad would just knock something over to be like, "Yeah, it's me, it's totally," but this was the first
Mm-hmm.
time that I actually saw, you know, an
Oh.
actual ghost, and I was just like, okay,
Oh.
he wanted to say hi, and I felt like since that was the home that we all shared, that
Yeah.
was him really being like, hey, I'm
I love
here,
that.
I'm glad to see you. He was so excited. Hey, Monique, and I was like, and I just stayed up that whole night up until the
Sure.
morning.
You're like, my cousin or my nephew who's
Yeah,
a ghost
yeah,
was here. We love this, but also it's kind of fucked up.
yeah. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I saw him. Okay.
Did you tell anyone in your family when you woke up?
I didn't tell anybody for a long time until I
Yeah.
left because I didn't want to think I was cuckoo, cocoa, you know. But I was just like, Jay came to me, and they said, "What?" I was like, "He came to me." They're like, "What do you mean in a dream?" I was like, "Yeah, he did before." I said, "But this time it was in person,"
Oh,
and they just stared, and I think it spooked them too. But
probably.
I was,
Okay, let's I love these stories. I think they're positives. But just in case anyone listening is like, let's switch it back to wrestling. Have you ever experienced a wardrobe malfunction? We're talking nip slip, lip out. Have you had incontinence, pee? Have you had a shart? Let's hear it, girl. Because you haven't been a wrestler for long enough if you haven't peed in the ring just a little
oh,
bit.
okay. I have two stories. So this was really, really early, like training days. With Johnny Rods. I I I learned how to run the ropes and take a bump, but they were going to have me be like a referee. The first thing you had to do was like be a referee before you did
Okay.
anything. And I remember we were filming a pilot for HBO to possibly get it on TV. Oh, this was really funny. Marty Bell was in the match too,
Okay.
because it was Marty and another girl with two other girls, and I was the guest
Yep.
referee. The outfit that I had to come through from Yandy, I know every girl's used Yandy because we all had somewhat the same outfits for
Okay.
wrestling. Yandy made like the nice crystal tops with the bottoms with the belt that just matched and it looked like it could have been geared.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the store. Lo and behold, my referee outfit comes in and it is literally string.
Oh no.
String that is like a little small less than this. Let's see, I got full coverage on these.
Mm-hmm.
This was like nip. And I was just like, where's the rest of my outfit? And the girl was like, well, this is what came in. I'm like, no, there's no way. I'm like, to this day, I think she never ordered me the right one and just took my money. That's just what I think. But anyway, they were like, all right, when you get on the floor, you got to really slide in there. And 1, 2. I went slide and I hear, yeah. And I'm just like, what? And they're like, oh, and I just see
Bear boob.
gun drop. And then the building was cold, so my nipple was like it was cracked, and I was like, no. And lo and behold, I remember it was Marty Bell, Tina San Antonio. I can't remember the others. For the love of me,
Yep.
they kept having a pin sequence. So guess what I was doing the whole time? 1, 2, running. This is me the whole match, holding my boob. 1, 2, get up again. 1, 2, and after a while I was like, yo, y'all gotta stop. I can't. And then I remember after that, it was like, oh, these fans want to meet you. And
I bet they do.
God was like, no, they were just talking about you, boo. No, you're not me. And I was like, oh, these fans. They're like, this is not a fan. No. And I was like, oh, okay. And I remember House of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Truth Martini's Wrestling School. Mm-hmm. It was when they did a Ring of Honor all women's class, and this was in Michigan. And I literally picked up my bags and moved to Michigan to train.
Oh wow!
To be a part of Women of Honor because they were doing this training camp. And lo and behold, it was all girls: yep. Scarlett Bordeaux, Ray Lynn, Dominique Fabiano.
It was a powerful girls class.
They made us take front flip bumps off the top rope. First it was off the spigot and then it was off the front. Okay. Lo and behold, we're all doing it and then front flip splat and someone left a big puddle of pee and we were like, oh, no. And then now they're like, ladies, all right, let's go. You all are going to keep doing. We were like, no, well, we don't want to. It's pee right there.
Clean that shit up.
We all had to do the flip bump. And so many girls tried to avoid the flip bump. Because it was a pit pee. Like, it's more than just a little dribble drop. Yeah. It was pee. Like a
full bladder explosion.
Everybody was like, in the piss. And I was like, I don't want to flip bump. I was like, you know what? Screw it. And Truth Martini was just like, Mo, let's go. Next. And I was like, flip, pow. They was like, did you land? And I was like, yep. I'm going to sanitize my whole body tonight. And yeah.
I love it. So this is a new one. So we had a team effort of flip bumps into the pee.
Into the pee because one woman was like, well, I'm a lot older than you girls. We were like, fine.
You know what? Fuck it. Sad.
But it was funny.
It's sterile. Whatever. Okay, who is your favorite artist or band?
Favorite artist, Beyonce. Mm-hmm. And my favorite band is BTS.
Oh my God.
Meaning Bangtan Boys or Bulletproof Boy Scout. They have so many different names, but they're my favorite boy band. And
love it.
Favorite artist, Beyonce.
Name a movie that changed your life.
Okay, that's between Tina Turner's What's Love Got to Do with It and Grease.
Oh, Grease? Me too. I must have watched it every day for at least 2 years. If we ever meet, we will do all the scenes.
I love the scene where with Sandy was singing and like singing hopelessly devoted to you, and she was all writing the love note and like putting the
Yep.
letter. I was like, oh,
So funny
yes.
because I was like, I want to be Rizzo.
Rizzo. Oh, I couldn't stand Rizzo.
Oh,
She was so stank sometimes. Like she was just a mean girl for no reason. But then
totally.
couldn't talk. She threw stones and then had glass. And Rizzo.
I hear, and I looked at Sandy. I was like, that sensitive little bitch. Like, fucking get your shit together, girl.
Sandy was really like, oh, she was a crybaby. You're a fake and a
Was.
phony. I wish I never laid eyes on you. Boom.
And I wanted to be a pink lady. And Sandy was not a pink
Dude,
lady.
the pink lady. You know, the pink ladies are so iconic. I
Oh,
wish that would stop. You know what? There needs to be like a pink ladies of professional wrestling. I would love to.
we should write it. We'll write it.
Yes, you show me how. I
Yeah.
have ideas. I still know how
Well,
to
you
write.
know what? Give it like 5, 10 more years, girl. I'm gonna be writing my own damn show, so we'll revisit this.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, who was your most embarrassing crush?
I really don't feel like I had an embarrassing
That's okay
crush.
if you don't.
I can't, because every crush that I had, I feel like they were really, really hot.
That's fine.
And
That's fine.
they were like reasonable to crush after
Okay.
them.
Okay. Where can our listeners find you? With like social media, TikToks, OnlyFans? Tell me the things.
Yeah, so I need to do an OnlyFans. I got a lot of junk in this trunk.
Yes, girl.
But yes, I'm on Instagram at Real MJ Jenkins, Twitter Real MJ Jenkins _ TikTok Real MJ Jenkins _ as well.
Beautiful. Okay, last one. Finish this lyric. If I were a boy.
Even just for a day. And she said, I roll out of
Bed in the morning.
Go on what I wanted to go.
Yes! You are such a queen.
I love Beyonce.
Ugh. She's just...
That's my boo.
Talk about that dark feminine energy, man. Her and Rihanna, I'm just like, whatever they're doing, I will buy it.
Yes. Bingo. Oh, speaking of, I was just in Sephora today, and they had a Fenty perfume. Spraying everywhere, and my baby sister's like, it smells like oat lady. I'm like, shut up. This is real perfume. Go away.
Youngin. What are you talking about?
Go away, you youngin. You're used to toilet.
Yeah.
You're not used to perfume, honey.
Exactly. That girl is energy. I just, she is that Beyonce song, Energy, and I love her, and I love everything she represents and stands for, and I can't be more empowered and truly happy for a fellow female professional wrestler who has found her feminine power and energy. Speaking of finding things, I just so happen to have this delicious Partake IPA. It is alcohol free, it is 10 calories, and it looks fucking cool. Anyways, they're not currently our sponsor, but if the Partake people would be so inclined, the Wild On team would love to have them on board as the official Wild On sponsor, because it's a bunch of sober girls up in here making this podcast, myself included. Speaking of my team, I would not be able to do this podcast without my badass punk rock girl band, the Wild On team. My queen, my editor, my producer, my friend, my sister, Rochelle Douris, and my marketing specialist, Madison Golshani. Thank you. I love you, ladies. And until next week, keep calm and wild on. Blessed be.